Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I really hope that you guys are enjoying these tutorials that I keep putting out in stages on how to create your own laminated traveler's notebook. I mentioned this in a few videos, but if this is the first time you're tuning in, I have like 4 or 5 of them out there in stages, like how to create the laminated cover, then how to make a folder, a laminated folder. Today we're going to do our inserts. I'm going to teach you how to sew and put in your paper inserts. And my fall traveler's notebook here can have 3 inserts. And here is the folder I created. So that's in the 4th little insert here. I did another video where I did a tutorial on how to do your binding and to get your little elastic binder piece over your traveler's notebook. So by the end of this there might be 4 or 5 videos, but I just really felt like in my heart of hearts that I should have, you know, broke it up, because I really feel like if I tried to put how to put one of these together all at once in one video, there'd be so many different parts and I feel like the video would just be so long. So I really hope that you guys liked that I kind of broke it up, and then they're a little bit easier to find. So when you're ready to make your inserts, all you have to do is go to that video, and that's just what that video is about. So I hope that helped. But as I just mentioned, today I'm going to be showing you a tutorial on how to put these inserts in, which I'm noticing I put mine in backwards. They are super easy, and I'm going to show you how to sew them and get them in. But before I do, I wanted to give you guys a little hint. As you can see here, I have this nice little plastic piece. These are fantastic to put pictures, of course, but if you're going to stick this in your purse, this is great for your driver's license, credit cards, whatever you want to put in here, pictures or things like that. And I just wanted to show you really quick. All you do is take one of these Project Life cards, the 6x8 Project Life. I keep calling them cards, but they're not cards. What are these, like photo pocket pages? And all you do is just cut this piece off with the holes, and then you fold it this way, crease it really good, and then you stick it in just like that, and then that gives you the space to put photos or cards, credit cards, your driver's license, whatever you have, and it becomes just a great little additional piece to your traveler's notebook. And then I usually stick that in the front with the first insert, just like that, so that you have it in the front of that insert, because I would love to open this up and see like 2 pictures of my family, and then the insert, and then there'll be 2 more in the back before your second insert starts. So I just wanted to give you that little heads up, just so that you guys can do that for yourself, because that is so simple, and I'm not making a separate video for that. So I'm going to show you today how to make the insert. So of course you're going to need the paper that you choose to make the cover for your insert. Here is mine, and because my traveler's notebook, my fall one here, is a 5x7, of course this paper needs to be just a little bit shorter than that, and I explained how to do that in another video, and I'm going to kind of show you the same process that I did just to make one of these. So this is the paper that I'm going to use for the cover of my insert, and then all I'm using is multi-purpose paper, which this is just another word for computer paper. I usually put about 10 pieces of paper together, and then when it's folded, you know, you're going to have 20. So each insert has about 20 papers. You can make it a little fuller if you like, but I think 20 pieces of paper in each insert is plenty, because, you know, if you have 3 inserts, then you have 60 pieces of paper in one traveler's notebook, and I think that that's more than enough. And all I do, this is the same process that I got the cover for, is when you do this, everything always has to be a little bit smaller. So all I simply do, because you guys know, like, been with me for a while, you know, and if this is a brand new time you're visiting my channel, I don't measure. I hate measuring. I don't measure anything, and it works out for me, so I just continue to do that. All I do is I hold the cover over the paper a little bit, and I would say that's like 1/4 of an inch off to the side and about 1/4 of an inch off to the bottom, so that the paper is shorter than the cover. So when I fold it, it's shorter than the cover, and I know that it'll fit perfect when I sew it in. And then all I do is just take my pen and make my marks just like so, and then I'm just going to cut it in my cutter, and then we'll be ready to go. So now we have to fold the cover, and I just line it up from corner to corner, make sure that it is straight, hold the ends, and just give it a nice crease. Just like that, and then that becomes the cover. And then we'll do the same exact thing with the paper that we just cut. Put it from corner to corner. Make sure the ends line up, just like so, and then give it a nice crease. And then when you put it in here, just to show you, okay, when you fold it, see, you can't see it at all, because this is shorter than this, and as you can see, it's shorter at the bottom. Okay, I know it's hard to see white on white. And then now we just have to sew in the paper. Now, for some of my other ones, I used baker's twine. Baker's twine works great because it is much thicker than just regular old I'm drawing a complete blank. I want to call this yarn. This is not yarn. This is not twine. This is thread. This is like thread, right? Yeah, okay, thread. So, of course, this is super thin. This is super thick. This stuff is a little, you know, you use less of this to bind your books, but sometimes I just don't like the colors, you know, sometimes it's nice just to have the white. So, but same exact principle. I'm going to use the thread today to show you how I sew my books together, but you would do the exact same thing if you do want to use like baker's twine, or if you wanted to use oh my goodness, I forget what the other stuff is. Not raffia, but it's just like baker's twine, but it's like a tan color. I'm just drawing a complete blank today. That's all. So with this though, with the yarn, because it is thin, you have to use a lot of it because you're going to triple it. And you're going to see what I mean in a minute. So you do have to use more of this than you would with the twine. But I like the thinness of it, and I like that I can get it in white. I don't know, right now I just prefer this. You just have to use a lot of it, but there's always a ton of that stuff. So all you're going to do is take the two ends, because this is how you're going to triple it. Maybe I should move the book so you guys can see on my dark desk here. So all you're going to do is take the two ends, you're going to bring them together, and because we're using a thicker needle, we'll be able to thread this with no problem. Alrighty. Just make sure no knots get into it. There we go. Okay, so we're just going to thread that. Through our needle here. And then, like I said, we're going to triple it. So we're going to bring this down to the other end, because you do want this nice and thick, and you're going to need this at the end to tie it together. You're going to see when we get finished. So you have to do this if you're using thread, because you're going to need it to tie. So we're just going to tie the ends, and because the needle is thicker, you have to do that. You have to make your knot 3 or 4 times, guys. Okay. So this is the tedious part. So forgive me for getting quiet, and because I'm concentrating, trying to get this through here and not get them all tangled. Okay, so now that I have the knot on there, I'm just going to pull it to make sure it's long. Okay, and then the next part is, if you have a poker, I said this in another video as well, use your poker, your poker tool. I do not have a poker, so just like I said in another video, I use this brooch because this little puppy is sharp. So all you're going to do is line up where you want your paper inside your little folder here, and you're going to make 3 holes. Don't take it all the way to the tip, bring it down a little bit. So I'm going to make 1 here, 1 in the middle, and about where my thumb is right here. So I have to do this off camera because I have to take it to the edge of my desk so that I can hold it without stabbing my fingers through the backside, if you know what I mean. If I do it like this, I'm going to stab my finger, but if I hold it off my desk, I can separate my fingers and it'll go right through. So I'll be right back. So as you can see, there's my 3 holes right in the crease. I use my little handy dandy brooch. No problem. And then we're just going to sew this in. So in order to sew it in, we're going to start at the bottom through the back side. Just like this. And sometimes this takes a little bit of finessing, and the more you do it, you know, the better you get at it, as I say this, and I'm having trouble right off the bat. Whoop. Okay. Just going to bring it right through the bottom, right to the top. Okay. Then you're going to go right into the middle. Make sure you pull these tight. It's not like your elastic. You want these tight. You want the binding nice and tight. Make sure you have it lined up where you want it. Then we're going to bring it through the back at the top. This one there we go. I always seem to have problems with that one. Did I get all the papers? Yes, okay. Okay, we're just going to bring it through that one. Now you're going to take it into the middle one again, because see how there's no space here? So you want to cover that. So you're going to take it back through the middle. Okay. Just like that. Pull it tight. Now see how you have your binding? Nice. But see, now you want that same look on the back. So in order to achieve that, you have to stick it back through the end hole, the bottom hole, the first hole you came through. And you're just going to pull it through and pull it tight. Make sure everything is nice and tight. And that came through. Okay? And then this is where this is going to come into play, where you did 3 pieces of yarn, you tripled it, because all you're going to do is you're going to cut it at the base where it was threaded through, and now you're going to have 2 separate pieces, just like that, and now you'll be able to tie them in a nice knot. And just like I said, make sure you tie them 3 or 4 times so that they cannot be pulled through your insert. So I do it like 3 or 4 times here. Just like so. Okay. And then of course you're going to cut off the extra. Alrighty. Cut off a little bit more. No, I think we're good. Okay. So there you go. Now you have the nice binding in the front and in the back. And then of course I need to cut off the little extras that are hanging out back here, so that isn't sticking out. And that's it, guys. That's all it takes. If I can grab it. That's the only thing bad about working about. It's so thin. There we go. I put my needle back in my little doohickey-doo so I don't lose it. But then there's the back. There's your binding. Super simple, super easy, you know. And now your book is bound together. It isn't going to move. It isn't going to go nowhere. It's sewed in, and then you can add it to your traveler's notebook, which this is the 4th one. So I think it's back behind here. Yes, here it is. So I will add it to this one, just like so. Okay, so then I have my 3rd insert. Here is the folder that we created, which there's a tutorial for that. Ooh, my little thing got caught in there. Hold on one sec. There we go. So there is the folder. Here is my 2nd insert. Here's my 1st insert with the little papers. The paper's plastic for cards or for pictures. Here is the 1st insert. Here is the little plastic piece again. And then I already showed you a video on how to make this. I can link this down below. These are pocket page markers. I showed you how to make one of these. I made a Halloween one. I did a tutorial on these, I should say, and I made a Halloween one. Here it is. So I will link it down below, so if you're interested on how to make pocket page markers to stick in here, that video will be down below. So you just find a space, you know, and I think I'm going to stick it right here. I'm going to stick it in there. And then this puppy becomes really nice and big and full, and I just love it. So that is pretty much it. So you had a tutorial on how to make the laminated cover, which even in this I showed you how to make like belly bands and let me grab it here, corner pockets. I taught you how to sew your inserts. I did a tutorial on how to make a folder to stick in the middle and the pocket page inserts, and then there's even a tutorial on how to bind your traveler's notebook and make the little elastic binding that goes around it. So there is a lot to this book. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the way that it looks. I have to fool with it because it's just freshly made. I just want to make this very clear. Just because it's freshly made, it's new, and I haven't worked with it and, you know, used it a lot. Sometimes when they're fresh, the laminate is really stiff. Maybe that's a good word. So you have to play with it a little bit. But as you can see, like when I let it kind of loose, it looks like my inserts stick out further than the book. But once I work with this and I move it around and I make it pliable, as you can see, when I fool with it and I really make it work, my inserts don't show off the side. So I just want to show you guys, they're not the wrong size or anything like that. It's just that my laminate is super stiff. I haven't been working with this book. I haven't been opening it and using it. I've just been making things for it. So because of that, the laminate's a little stiff. So if you have that issue when you first make your book, don't freak. It's okay. Once you play with it and you keep opening it and you're adding stuff and you're actually like using it, you know, it molds. It does what it's supposed to do. So don't freak out. It's okay. So the last little thing that I will probably do before I'm finished with like this tutorial series on how to make your own laminated traveler's notebook is, if you guys would be interested, some of you guys asked me how I make my little, let me pull this one out to show you how I make, this is the one of my first ones I made, how I make the little boy and girl Prima, let me pull them out here, Prima Julie Nutting dolls, if you will. I guess that's a good word for them, dolls. These are stamps, but people ask me, like, you know, they notice I color some of it, but they're like, you know, how do you get the paper? Because what I do is when I make these, I always match the paper that I'm using in my traveler's notebook. I make the dolls with that same thing. So I think I'm going to do that as well, just to answer that question, and that'll probably be the end of this like tutorial, little, whatever you want to call this, a tutorial series on how to make these, just so that you guys can make your own little Prima dolls to match your traveler notebooks to whatever pages you do. And I definitely want to add some of those to my fall traveler's notebook, because I would love to have a little fall doll. I even love that name, a little fall doll, to put in here as well, maybe a couple. I also made one for this Halloween pocket page marker to send to somebody who maybe had already made a Halloween traveler's notebook, but here she is. And I used Halloween paper, and I used like a little witch hat off of, believe it or not, Dollar Tree Halloween stickers to make her like a little witchy girl. I think she turned out adorable. So they're awesome to add to these. And these are so much fun. And I love the idea of making these little page markers and sending them, like, you know, swapping or mailing them just as like a rack to people who have these laminated traveler's notebooks. I think this is so much fun. So I'm making lots of them. I love these. This is the other one in case you're new. I've already showed these. Like I said, this video will be linked down below, but this is the boho collection one. So I love making these. And these traveler's notebooks, as you probably can tell. So that'll probably be my next tutorial. I think I'm going to make a fall little doll, little Prima doll to stick in my fall traveler's notebook. But that is it, guys. That is pretty much the basis on how to get your own traveler's notebook started with 3 inserts and even a folder, how to do the binding, and that's it, guys. So just stay tuned for how to make a little Prima doll, and this little series should be over. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really hope that you're enjoying the way that I put this together. I love this. I love the little foxes. And I hope you guys are having a great beginning to your fall season. Remember to always do what you love. Remember to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and if you are, I just want to say welcome. I'm so glad that you're here and you tuned in. Remember to always do what you love, take care of you, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye, guys.